Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for social media and marketing tips and tricks. I'm Amy Stack, and today we are recording Ask Amy, a bi-weekly session offering a place to bring your questions concerning our marketing topic of the week. Today's topic is run your social media. Before we get started, if this is your first time here and you want to learn more about marketing and social media for your real estate business, go ahead and start now by subscribing to my channel. Hit that red subscribe button and then make sure to click the bell icon to receive new content notifications. With that, we're going to go ahead and get started today. What I would love to do is hear from our participants on what you guys are hoping to learn. I have lots of things I could talk about, so I want to know if there are any particular questions you guys were wanting to get out of today to start with. And you can shout it out or put it in the chat, whatever is easier for you.
What I would like to know in this is social media in general, should one be trying to sync the so that you have the same friends in Facebook and on LinkedIn? I mean, should you be syncing the contacts across your social media?
So that's a really good question. Not everybody is on all the platforms, so that's not going to be 100% possible. Yes, it's absolutely fine to have the same people on following you or liking or engaging with you across multiple platforms, which is also why a lot of people will put different content on different platforms, and because they're designed for different things. Like LinkedIn, you're going to put more business type stuff, and Instagram is obviously very visual. You can't share links on Instagram unless you have a certain amount of followers, so you can't really post like a share article and stuff like that. So you'll have different content in the different places. So it is fine to have the same people follow you in the different locations. Did that help answer that question?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Perfect. Megan, what about you? Anything in particular you wanted to cover today?
I don't have anything specific. I mean, I'm pretty basic beginner, so anything you're willing to go over is new to me.
Okay, well then what I'm going to do is I wrote down a couple of topics that I get a lot of questions about, so I'll go over some of those, and you guys let me know what you want to dig into. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I get a ton of questions, of course, on how to get started in social media, where to get content, what to post, when to post, talking about like how do I use a calendar or make a calendar to manage all of my information. People ask me about different schedulers, like third-party schedulers that you can use to kind of auto-run your posting. Analytics, what should we be looking for, which ones have good analytics, that type of stuff. Compliance, especially for real estate, right? Like what's legal, how do I stay out of trouble? And hashtags. That's what I wrote down were like my most popular questions, I guess. So does any of that strike
All
you?
of that sounds wonderful. That especially the what content to post and the schedulers.
Okay. And what about you, Megan?
I agree. That would be great.
Okay. So let's start with, where to get content and what to post and where. So I mentioned a little earlier that Instagram is obviously very visually heavy. So you're going to want, on a platform like Instagram, you will want something that's really catchy, right? That's eye-catching. You can do videos on Instagram now. For the general feed, they have to be 60 seconds or less. Actually, technically, it's under 60 seconds. If you want to do something a little longer on Instagram, you can. You have to move it over to Instagram TV, or it's just called IGTV. And then the format actually changes a little from that trademark Instagram square to a longer vertical video that you would, kind of like your phone size. So obviously what you're posting there is going to be more of your visual content. On LinkedIn, like I mentioned, it's going to be more business stuff. So I run our office LinkedIn, and I do share our stat information that I also share on Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, I'm sharing that with a graphic on Instagram to make it more engageable, if that's a word. But I also share articles on LinkedIn that I don't necessarily share on those other platforms about business strategies. or what's going on with Keller Williams, you know, across the world. Sometimes I'll share some of that stuff on Facebook too, but definitely tips for real estate agents on how to run your business, or like niche interviews, stuff like that we'll post on LinkedIn that I don't necessarily post on the other platforms because it's very business specific. A lot of agents will
Can you be
post.
more specific about niche interviews?
Oh, just like if Keller Williams is doing an interview with an agent and they're talking about a very specific demographic, like if it's somebody who specializes in helping veterans, I'll like share that interview on LinkedIn. Or it's somebody doing it, whoever's getting interviewed is talking about a very specific part of their business, not necessarily like an overall thing, but maybe like how they use this specific program in their business. Like we had somebody come in to our office this week, well, our office huddle, not in person, on our Zoom call, that talked about how his team uses postcards and direct mail and how they farm their specific area. So that was a very specific topic that they covered. It wasn't just like a general you know, real estate topic. And it was meant for agents more than clients. So I post that type of stuff on LinkedIn as well. But that's because we, as an office, aren't just talking to potential clients, we're also talking to agents. Like you guys are our clients, right? So that's helpful for you. I see a lot of agents on LinkedIn posting more economic data, not just all the fun, like, little stat videos and you know what's going on in like this is a funny before and after picture, or like, hey, look at this weird fixture I found in a house today. You don't really see that type of stuff on LinkedIn. You see more business related stuff about the economy, how it's going to affect the market and the value of, you know, home properties, you know, more of that type of information. And I like to encourage people to do interviews with local businesses, and that type of content is good to put on all of your platforms. And if you really want to get into it at a higher level, you can do a longer interview, a video interview, and you can take clips of it and you can put a little clip on Facebook or Instagram, and you can forward everybody to the full one on your LinkedIn or your YouTube channel. So that's just a little thing that you can build up to grab a little snippet from a longer interview that's really going to get engagement and then steer them towards another channel for that long format viewing.
It sounds like down the road for
Yeah.
me.
That's more the higher level picture, but still doing those local interviews is huge for any platform you want to put that on, because that really does help solidify you as being a local expert, and gaining, not only does the public then gain trust in you, but you're building that relationship within the community of fellow business owners. So you're more likely going to be able to get referrals from them, and you'll keep them in mind in the future to send people their way as well. So that'll be mutually beneficial. Coming from contribution, like we like to do here. So anything else, like what else can I talk to you about with content?
Do you typically write the content yourself, or do you pick it up from something that you've read and then cite the source in the post?
So it definitely depends on what it is that we're covering. I don't usually, like the body of the content, I don't usually take from somewhere else, but if it's an article, like maybe I'll take a snippet and I'll say, you know, this is from this article, click here to see more. But the content about like why to read it, unless it's provided to me to use, like KW provides tech articles all the time, and they send out a link saying, hey, this is what's going on with the company, here's what you can say about it. And like they're giving us the permission to go ahead and just copy and paste what we should be saying about it. But if you see something somewhere else online, you don't want to plagiarize it, you know, you want to put it into your own words. That's not saying you have to do a whole new message, but at least make it sound like you're saying it and not the person that, you know, originally wrote it.
So just one more question on that.
That's okay.
With the content that comes from KW,
Mhm.
We get, or personally, I get so many different types of things from KW. Are you talking about from a specific avenue or
Yeah, so me personally, I use KW Connect a lot, and I subscribe to some of the international profiles. So whenever they post something, I get an email alert so that I don't have to go remember to hunt on KW Connect when I'm looking for content. It comes straight to me. Let me go ahead and I'll share my screen. I'll show you guys how to do that.
yes, please.
Pull up the page. All right, you guys see my KW Connect page here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just go to kwconnect.com, and then you'll see the little magnifying glass in the top right. That's your search. And you can search for anything you want on here, but right here where it says all content, come on, there we go. You guys see where it says that right here?
Yes.
All content. So if you click that drop down, there's actually one that says users. And you can search for somebody specific, or like you can see, I have KW Media Room is one of the ones I follow, so I search for them a lot. And then just hit search. So every agent, any associate in Keller Williams has a profile here, but we have a lot of international profiles too. So you can see here we're KW Media Room, and then if I click on that, I think there's like a PR one as well, a tech one. So you can see that they have their little about section here. And then you can click on their upload section, and you can see everything that they've shared.
I've never clicked the upload button.
So any profile that shares anything to connect to find that content, you want to just hit that uploads button, and it will show you anything that they've already shared. So in here, you can see it. There's a CNN article. So if I click on that, so it gives me like a little header here and then a link to the article. So because this is KW Media pushing this out, you can copy and paste this, or you can see here, message for leadership, leverage this news hit along with the graphic below to share Keller Williams chief economist's commentary on the housing market. So then with this one in particular, we have a link to an article. It's telling you how to use it. There's some information you can copy and paste here. And then you can also hit this download button, and it will actually give you the graphic to use. So it's all right there. You just have to go and post it.
Well, that was worth the price of admission, because I've never touched the uploads button because I read it as just upload, and I knew I had nothing to upload.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I never even touched it.
So that's a great little secret for those of you who have never really explored that so much. This is a good spot to get content. So KW Media is one, like I said, that I follow. I think, oops, I didn't mean to close that out. I think there's a PR one. If you just put KW, it might just kind of pull up some options for you. Oops, I didn't mean, I left it on all content instead of users. Make sure you go to users, that's the key. So, okay, so here you go. I just typed in KW under users and connect, and you can see, oh, there's not as many as I thought. Maybe it's KWRI that I should have searched for. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of accounts out there, and a lot of times when you're in one, it'll suggest some other ones you might also like to follow. Yeah, I can't remember what all of them are off the top of my head, but yeah, I get an email. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. So on anybody's channel, excuse me, it's not subscribe because it's not YouTube, it's a follow button. And anybody's profile on Connect, you can just hit that follow button, and whenever they add something to that upload section, you'll just get an email. So then you don't have to remember who you're following. You don't have to remember to come out and look for content. It'll just come right into your inbox, and then you can kind of save that for later to go post out to whatever platform you want to put it on. So that's a nice way to get some content.
I did not know any of that.
Other good places to get content are if you go to IAR, if you follow them, their website, or NAR's website. I probably should have typed that out. So if you want good articles, I guess they're just IR now. They changed from IAR to IR. Right here, Illinois Realtors. You can get tons of great information on here about what's going on in Illinois specifically. And then obviously NAR will have content for on a nationwide basis versus just our state. So this is another good place to go. You can see here's market stats. And there's the public, and then the members only. Now all of us, of course, you guys are all members, so you'll have a login to get to the members only market stats. But if you don't want to log in, you can always go to the public archive and just pull it from there. And then the same thing with the NAR website, you'll have the same access in there. I follow a lot of them on Facebook actually, so that's a nice way to get it too. So then if you don't want to be hopping around from a website to your Facebook account to here and all over the place, you can just kind of follow the different places on the different social platforms. So they all have their own, you know, LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff like that. So you can follow them there. Let's see, what other questions do you guys have about content? You want me to talk about any specific platform or other ways to find content? What are you looking to learn?
For real estate, is there a is Facebook the place you're going to get the most bang for your buck, or
well, for any of the platforms, you're going to get out what you put into it, right? So if you're only checking in once a week and not posting often, you're not going to get a lot of engagement. So for people that ask me where they should start, okay, let me rewind a little bit. Let's say you're just starting in social media. A really good best practice is to pick one platform to launch from and master that, get your system going, and then add in your other one. One thing that I did as I launched the Social Stack was I use a lot of the platforms personally, but I'm not super well, you know, versed in all the nitty gritty, all the business tricks, all these tricks for all the different platforms. So I made sure I did set up profiles for a whole bunch of different platforms, and I do post to them, so I'm active on them, but I'm only focusing right now on growing one of them. So yes, I put my information across the multiple platforms, but I'm only focusing on getting education on one platform and growing that one platform right now. And as I start to grow that and get more comfortable with that, then I can focus on working in another platform as well. If you try to do it all at the same time, it's going to get really overwhelming, and you're going to get distracted, and you'll start one thing on one platform and hop over to another, and then you're going to get frustrated because you're going to start seeing these people that are experts doing stuff, and why can't I do that? And it's just going to escalate and snowball. So stick with one, really hone in on that one, and then add once you feel you're more comfortable and you're ready to add something new to your plate. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Now, the next question I get to that is, well, which platform should be my first? And my response always to that is, if you are already using social media, I don't care if it's for business or personal, if you're already using it, start your business stuff on whatever platform you're already comfortable with. So if you're on Instagram and Facebook, but you barely use Facebook, launch your business on Instagram first, because you're comfortable with the platform. You already know all the tools and the tricks because you've been using it. So just learn more about the business side of it. And then once you're comfortable with that, launch into the other locations as well. Okay? If you're not on social media at all, start with Facebook.
Okay.
It's the biggest social network, and it was literally designed to be shareable. So it's really helpful to get yourself out in front of more people, because it's easy to share your content. It's easy for you, like for others to share your content. It's easy for you to share content on it and then out to multiple places, including other social platforms. So that's my suggestion for you if you are literally, you know, starting fresh right here. So once you figure out where you're going, Then we want to talk about content. And pretty much everything you do on social media, there's about an 80-20 rule that you want to be 80% like more fun and educational and informational, and 20% business. So you want to come from contribution and keep it fun and lighthearted, and then 20% is going to be your seeking out business, or your just sold, just listed, stuff like that. It's really easy for you guys to do the open houses and just listed and just sold posts, because you know that's what's going on, that's what you're doing in your business, but people get tired of seeing that. You need to put content out there that's relevant to them. Have you ever heard that people, I can't remember how the actual verbiage here, but when two people have a conversation, if a third person is watching, the third person can ask both of those two people how the conversation went, and they'll get two different stories, because the person that was talking the most feels like it was an amazing conversation, and the person that was listening and maybe couldn't get any words in of their own feels like it was a poor conversation. It's the same type of thing with social media. Not necessarily that people are going to engage all the time right away, but if they feel like you're just shoving information down their throat about what you've done and bragging about how you've sold a house and you have an open house and come see me and come buy from me, and they're going to tune you out. They need information that they care about.
And is that 80-20, are you talking about our business page or our personal page, or both?
Yeah, both. So you don't want to do, okay, so for your personal page, you want to have a lot of personal content on there, right? It's okay to put business stuff on your personal page as long as you're sharing it. Well, for Facebook specifically, as long as you're sharing it from your business page to your personal page, it's safe. The different platforms have different rules. Instagram's pretty much the same now, because they do have Instagram business accounts that came out in the last couple years here. So you can get in trouble for posting business posts on your personal Facebook page if you're posting directly to your personal profile. If you make a post on your business page and then share it, so let me pull up. I'm logged in as on my office account right now, but I'm going to pull up my personal profile so you guys can see. Sometimes it's a little easier to see it than just hear me talk about it. So here's my personal profile. If anybody wants to friend me, feel free. Come on. The internet's a little slow while I'm on Zoom and loading other pages. So you can see here, the Social Stack is my business page, right? So you guys can also follow me there. So I posted this information on my business page, and then I shared it to my personal page. So this content didn't generate on my personal profile. It generated on my business page, and then I went and shared it to my personal page. Profile, not page. This was something I was tagged in. So this was something that's not related to business at all that I just posted, okay? Kind of a fun little question that I found. So again, see, it's not all business stuff. Obviously, recently I've been doing my 66-day challenge. So this is a lot more business than I usually have on this page or profile. I keep saying that. I was asking for a referral. I need a new dentist, if you guys know any good ones. It was World Emoji Day. I thought that was a fun topic to talk about, So I'm trying to go back a little farther so you can see where it's not quite as many business ones. All right, so that was the beginning of my challenge. But this was something I was tagged in, so I didn't post that. This is not related to business at all. This was something I shared from my business page. Not business related, not business related, not, I was tagged in this one, not business related, not business related. You guys get the idea here, right? So that's going to be on your personal accounts. You want to definitely do personal information, talk about your life, anything you want to share, so that anybody that you're friends with or your family wants to check in on you and they can see, that's totally good to post there. When you're talking about your business page, you still want to do 80-20, but it's not 80% personal. Yes, you can still post personal stuff on your business page because people want to know you, right? They want to feel like they're getting to know who you are. You're a real person. You're not just a name you know, a faceless name that they hear and see all over the place. So it's okay to post some personal stuff on there, but you still want to keep it with the majority of that content being useful information, whether I mentioned earlier doing like an interview with a local business owner or something that's talking about what's going on with the market. Like we do once a week the neighborhood videos from Command. I post one of those on our business page once a week, and just talking about different guests we've had in the office and thanking them publicly for coming. So with agents, you guys could do funny pictures of things that you've come across in showings, right? You could talk about what's going on in the towns that you work in. That's not necessarily real estate related, but it's showing that you're ingrained in that community and it's of value to your followers. So does that kind of help differentiate between the two types of content in the ratios there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What else do you want me to keep talking about content? Do you want me to go on to a new subject? I could probably do a whole class just on content.
I think one of the ahas for me is that if you have the time or if you have the time, you can find things, interesting things, informative things to post that you don't have to be paying a service for. Correct.
Also, I know everybody here is with Keller Williams, but I don't know who's going to watch it in the future. We at Keller Williams have access to HomeKeeper Pro for free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just part of being with KW. So if you go to homekeeper.com, and it's HOMEKEEPR, there's not an E at the end of it. Actually, for you guys, you'll want to do homekeeper.com/KW if you haven't already signed up. Oh, maybe I said that wrong. It's making a liar out of me. I only go here 10 times a day, you guys.
But your fingers know how to do it when you're doing it.
I know. There we go. Yeah, no, I was right. It's homekeeper.com/KW. So if you are with KW and you don't have an account yet, make sure you go to that special URL to create your account. Otherwise, it'll try to charge you for the pro version. But what's cool about it is, let's see. I don't know if I have my own account. I don't use it for me. I always use it for agents. Let me think. I was just helping somebody. All right, we'll see if I set one up for me first. I don't want to have to pull up my spreadsheets with all my login information for everybody. No, okay. I guess I don't have one for myself because I'm not, if you didn't already know, I'm not a licensed agent. So
I thought you were.
I'm not. I have been in real estate longer than a lot of my agents, but I myself am not licensed. All right, so let's just go to HomeKeeper, their website, and I want to go to how it works. Oops. Here my page is a little laggy, like I said before. Oh, I thought I could click on it. All right. I'm going to unshare and pull up my spreadsheet of somebody's login and borrow their login. I'm not going to share it with you guys. Sorry. You can all set up your own account. Okay, so while I'm pulling that up, ask me another question so you don't have to stare at me pulling up this information.
Amy, can you talk about how you interact with groups that you are the administrator for?
Oh, sure. Yeah, and I'm actually, we're going to have a class probably in August. I'm waiting to hear back from my director of agent services on when she wants me to run it, but I'm going to do one specifically on groups and how you guys can use those for your real estate business, because it's a great way to interact with a community and build clients. So, anything specific that you might want to talk about with groups?
Well, I'm about to start a group,
Yeah.
and I've never done one before. So I guess, do the same rules apply? How long before you start letting people know that you're a realtor?
Well, that's a compliance question. 100% of the time, people not need to know if you're talking about anything real estate related, they need to know that you are a realtor from the get-go, right off the
Yeah.
bat.
No, I know. I
Okay.
guess I'm talking more about building the relationship, right? So when you're starting the group out, what rules of thumb or suggestions do you have in terms of how to communicate with people in that group, regardless of the content or the group's purpose?
So for stuff like that, you're really going to want to do mostly stick to the content of the group and just become that resource for them so that they know and can rely on you for that information.
Yeah.
It will become known. You'll start adding them to your database. So people will know, obviously, that you're an agent because of you being forward with that up front. But one really good way to start a group, like, are you thinking about doing it for a community or a like a hobby? What's the subject of your group?
Yeah, so for me, I am a wedding entertainer. I perform music at weddings, and with weddings being an event that's life-changing, oftentimes followed by the purchase of a home,
Yeah.
I thought it would be a nice little side street into that population.
So is your group going to be based on people that are planning weddings, or is it other people that are in the industry, like the wedding industry?
Both. So, my idea is to do like weddings in the Fox Valley, right? Something along those lines. So it's a group of cities that or townships that collectively, whether they're planning a wedding for themselves or they're a wedding resource that people can go and find vendors, right? There's a lot of different coordinated parts to weddings,
Yes.
right?
So
So it's like a center hub for all of them to network with each other.
great, that's perfect. Okay, so then thank you for sharing that with me. That helps me answer your question a little bit better. When you set up the group, anytime you guys set up a group, you have different privacy options on it.
Yeah.
If you're doing something like this, always make it a private group. Don't make it secret, because the only way to get into a secret group is if you receive a personal invite. So public means anybody can get in and see it whenever they want and see all the content. A private group means that they have to be approved to join the group, and you as an admin have the approval power.
Got you.
So as an admin, when you're setting up the group, you can also set up questions that have to be answered before you give somebody permission to join your group. So you can ask, are you a wedding professional? Are you planning a wedding? Are you thinking of moving in the next blah, 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 right? So that's how you can start getting that information and building your database and tagging them in your database, right? So you know in the future, oh, these are my fellow wedding professionals. I want to send them a blast about something that's going on in the industry and just remind them that I'm a realtor, because they're talking to people that are moving all the time too, right?
Yep.
And then you send out a different blast to your newlyweds that are thinking about buying and selling. So use those group questions at the front so that you get that information right away. And then you can put like a welcome post. I do this for groups and pages. You want to put a welcome post that gives your value proposition. Actually, I think this was my challenge today on my 66-day challenge, is how to create and pin your post, a welcome post. And it's the same concept for groups and pages. Talk about your mission and your value proposition so that people know why they're in this group or coming to your page and what they can get out of it. You want to make it all about them. So don't make a whole bio about yourself and why you're so great. Even though you are, they want to know why they should be there, not why you're awesome, right?
Yeah.
Is that helpful to get you started?
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is really good to get me started. So thank you.
Of course. Let me go ahead, and I got this HomeKeeper account open, so I'm going to screen share again. Can you guys see my account?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay, so when you are in Homekeeper, this is the back end. So this is a Homekeeper Pro account that you guys can all get for free because you're with KW. So you can see, what am I looking for? Can't think and talk at the same time, I'm sorry. So you can see you have some access to widgets here. So for those of you who have been using your KW website, you can link your blog right into your website. So that's what these widgets are here. And there's a whole bunch to Homekeeper Pro, but I don't really use it for anything other than the website and article content, but you can definitely dig into that more. And if we go to marketing, you can see that you can advertise it to get people to come to it. So that's a nice little piece to know about. And looking for my button. Right here, the shareable content where it says 275, just go ahead and hit view blog. And these are all the blog posts. And they generate this content every 3 to 4 days for you. And if you share it, so you can just have it live right in the Homekeeper account. Like I said, you can use that widget and embed it in your website. They will also send you an email every time an article is generated, and you can post it to social media. You can even link it to a Facebook business page to auto post to your page on your behalf if you want.
I do that.
So a lot of people do. So that's something, there's good upside and downside to this, right? Obviously the upside is that it's auto posting content, and most of it's really good content. Every now and then there's something that I'm like, I don't think I'd want that on my page. But yeah, the downside is that a lot of people use it, so you're not going to be the only person. It's not going to be, genuine content. Not genuine, it's not the right word. It's not going to be customized just for you, right? Other people are going to be able to share that same information. But if you're paying for a company to do it, they're going to also be using articles that are the same across multiple agents' platforms. So this is nice that it's free for KW. And to take it to the next level, even though it's free, when somebody clicks on that article, it'll still be branded to you, even though you didn't write it. And then they can share it too with the share links. So that is a nice place to get content. And even if maybe you don't want to use this exact article because other people are using it, it could still inspire you for a content creation piece, something that you want to talk about more yourself and write your own article or little post about it. So that's Homekeeper Pro. Like I said, there's other things you can do too. You can connect your vendors to this, your allied partners, and so that people can find them as a resource for their own home ownership needs.
If your KW website does not have a separate blog page yet,
Mm-hmm.
and you link this to your website, where would it show up then? Where on the website would it show up?
So you have to make the page for it.
Okay.
This is my managing broker's site. And for those of you in our offices, Tanya and I can do this for you. I charge $25 to add 4 widgets to your website, and this is one of them. So here's the drop down, and then we go to real estate blog. So I created this page for Cindy. Let me accept the cookies here. And you can see it's just embedded right into the page. So once it's loaded up in there, you don't have to do anything. It just runs automatically. But you can add these to your own KW sites as well. And I've just put her app underneath there as a little reminder too.
Which 4 widgets do you typically add to the website?
The mortgage calculator, the app, the blog, and the school search widget. We can do the testimonials too, but we do those as custom work because different people have different amounts of testimonials, so it takes longer to load some in than others.
Mortgage calc, app, blog, and I missed one.
The school search.
Google search.
Yeah, and both Tanya and I can do all kinds of content on the websites too. It's not limited to the widgets, but those are ones that we're able to do a set price on because we know how long it takes. And if you want custom content, we can help you with that too. It'd just be an hourly rate.
Do you have a list of a la carte?
We both do, and we're actually making a new one right now. So this is what it's going to look like. Woo, isn't that fun? You got a sneak peek.
I could read all of that.
Yeah, so
Do you know when that's coming out?
our goal is to get it out next week. So, but we have some editing to do still. We do have one currently. It's just the new one's coming out soon. So, yeah. But anywho, we didn't come here to talk about me doing your marketing work, although that's a great side for our office. And Ryan, are you from the Geneva office? Are you in E2P or are you in an outside?
Yeah, no, I'm with Keller Williams Inspire.
Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, then all of this applies to you. Everybody on here is in the E2P group. So typically, just so that you guys know, typically Tanya will handle stuff. We kind of just divided it up. So she's going to do pretty much Aurora, Plainfield, and Naperville, and I help Downers, Glen Ellen, and Geneva because it worked out nice and even for us that way.
Can we request you from time to time if we want to?
I'm not sure. We haven't figured that out, and it's because of the billing. So, because you're out of Naperville, right, Patty?
Yep.
So I'm not sure how that would work as far as billing is concerned because Tanya's in your office.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to check with. That's not a decision that Tanya and I. It's above our pay grade.
Okay. More an MCA kind of a question.
Yeah. But for all the other market centers, like Ryan, if you wanted to work with Tanya on something, that's totally fine. If you had a marketing coordinator in your office, we would send you to them first. But every now and then there's a project I can't do, so I'll send them to Tanya or vice versa. I do a lot of the website stuff. So we complement each other very well. But anywho, let's get back to social media. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see what other questions we have. So, I closed my list of frequently asked questions. Anything else you guys want me to talk about right now?
Could you talk about the scheduling?
Oh, sure. Well, then I should have just left my screen open. I knew this was going to happen. Let's see. I made my window too big. I can't get to my corner here. All right. You guys can make calendars on your own. Scheduling and calendars kind of go hand in hand. I use Buffer, B-U-F-F-E-R. I've used a bunch of different schedulers in the past. I've used Hootsuite. I've used CinchShare. I posted directly through Facebook. And you guys have access to do post scheduling right through Command as well. The reason I use a third-party one is because I post to a lot of sites, not just Facebook and Instagram. Also, the content that I post is different for the different sites. So I'm not just copying and pasting the same thing on all the platforms. And I might be running them at different times too. So I tried out probably, 5 or 10 different platforms before I landed on Buffer. It's really cost friendly. I think we pay it's like $10 or $15 a month. So it's pretty wallet friendly. And I'm just on the basic account. I don't have any of the upgrades or anything. But it works. I chose it for a couple of reasons. One is that I can schedule videos to Instagram with it. A lot of the platforms, you can't schedule anything to Instagram other than a picture. And even with that happening, a lot of them you have to go through an app. So you schedule it on the desktop, and then you have an app on your phone, and you get a notification to then manually go push it to Instagram. So I liked Buffer because unless I'm doing a gallery or a story, it automatically posts for me, so I don't have to do that manual push. If you're looking specifically for Instagram, later.com is a great platform too, but it's not so good for multiple platforms. But if you want just Instagram, later.com. It will do other platforms. I just don't find it as user friendly. You kind of have to recreate the post a bunch of times, and it's like, well, then what's the point of having a scheduler if you have to copy and paste it? So I use schedulers because I am using several platforms at the same time. I want different content on the different platforms going at different times. So it gets a little hairy when you're trying to remember all of that on your own, and when you're trying to, you know, create all that content and post it in the different spots, and then you can't remember what you scheduled where, and it takes longer because you're opening up, you know, 5 different portals to schedule all over the place. So that's why I use a scheduler. If you're only on one platform, then you might not need that. Even if you're on, you know, just 2 platforms, you still might not need it. Let me go ahead and pull up my calendar that I've created. I have too many tabs open as always. Let's see here. Did I close it? What I did was just, I took an Excel spreadsheet. Well, technically it was a Google Sheet. I took an Excel or Google Sheet that I just layered in days and then put a topic for what I wanted to post. And then I made a color-coded key that I put little check marks. So like if I want it on LinkedIn, I put a green check mark by it. If I want it on Facebook, it's a blue check mark. So that way I can see where it's going. And I don't check it off until I've scheduled the post. I think I accidentally closed the window, or it's behind my Zoom window. All right, give me 1 second here. And the reason I do that is because it's a nice quick overview of, oops, that's the wrong drive, of like I can see at a glance what I have scheduled where. Some of the third-party posting systems include a calendar, so you don't have to create your own, which is great, but the level that I'm on doesn't include that. So I just made my own. And UTP social. Second here. There we go. Go ahead and share again. My white screen right now. Oh, there we go. One of the other things I did was went out and I made this. Can you see my first screen here with all the holidays?
Yes.
Okay, so I went and loaded in some holidays as reminders for myself that I could, obviously all the big ones, New Year's, 4th of July, that type of stuff, you'll always want to do, but I found some other fun ones like Star Wars Day is May 4th, National Pizza Day, who doesn't like pizza, right? So those are all fun little things that you can put out there. They're not necessarily, those types of posts are better for engagement if you're, you know, putting good content around it. But it's not necessarily something that's going to be, you know, a business post, but it's still fun and lighthearted. So that'll fall into that 80%. Then I have a calendar that I created that doesn't want to open. Here we go. So this is exactly what I was explaining before. You can see it's just a spreadsheet. And I have my little key here. So my different colors are different channels. And then you can see that on the 18th, I scheduled a story about Pittman. He's one of our agents, Matt Pittman. He had an article written about him in Real Producer. And so I scheduled it to go out on these 4 platforms. And then I put themes at the top of my calendar. I really suggest giving yourself themes. It doesn't have to be something that you tell the world, today my theme is this, and then when you don't post about that theme that day, they're like, what? That's not Motivational Monday content. What's happening? You don't have to do that. You don't have to tell them that your theme is Motivational Monday. That just kind of helps you figure out what you want to post that day. So a lot of times I suggest to agents, this will help with that 80-20 again, is you do one day for your actual like hard business posts, and then you can do like a before and after day, or something about the town day, you know, like what's going on in Lombard or something like that. People love before and after pictures. They love funny stories. They love it when you go to a showing and there's something really bizarre in the house that you're like, wow, either like it's old shag carpet that is totally out of style, or it's like a random decor item that is kind of fun and kitschy and you want to share. Like, you can share that type of stuff. Just be careful that you're not showing too much of the house, and obviously you're not saying where it is because you don't want to run into, you know, security issues or anything like that. And then giving yourself a theme for the day will help you, instead of trying to figure out something to post all the time, it will, one, curtail your content for the day so you have an idea of what you want to put out there. And then when you're walking around your normal weekly lives and something strikes your fancy, you're like, great, there's my content for Wednesday, and you can schedule it out for, you know, whatever day it coordinates with. Are you taking a picture?
Yeah.
I have, do I still have it? Give me 1 second. I might have something that's more helpful. At one point I was brainstorming and I wrote up a whole bunch of themes, not for me, but like for agents to use. I think that's it. I think this is it. Yep, there we go. So Sunday Fun Day, Motivational Monday, or Makeover Monday. Let me open it in Google Slides or Sheets. I'm sorry, it's not PowerPoint. Here we go. So these were a bunch of topics I had just kind of brainstormed on both sides. So like Follow Friday could be like a business to follow. What's Up Wednesday or Wisdom Wednesday was market updates, testimonials. So you can get a testimonial from clients, and it doesn't have to be somebody you've worked with in real estate. It can be a testimony about how knowledgeable you are, you know, if you're talking to business owners or just people that you've worked with in other industries as well. People can talk about your character, stuff like that. So it doesn't have to all be real estate testimonies. Those are always good stories to share. And make sure you're mixing in video with this. You don't want it to all be photos. Video really helps with engagement, and the vast majority of video out there on social media is like paid advertising or people that have some sort of like marketing component in their business to help them run it. So if you are doing video on your own, that's really going to set you apart from other people and other profiles and businesses on Facebook. It'll help you stick out a little more. It's more engaging, and then it also will help push you up in the Facebook and Instagram and all the algorithms. So
Diane Mitchell from Plainfield actually does a Mitchell Minute, where she does you know, she'll be out and about, and she'll do a Mitchell Minute and post it on Facebook. So she's really going after that hard.
And you just want to be consistent, right? We've been talking about this for, you know, in all of my classes. I'm always going to remind you guys about being consistent. So this will help you come up with content and theme your content around it. Like I said, you don't have to tell people that your theme is Mitchell Moment, right? Or Testimony Thursday or Follow Friday. That just helps you figure out where to put your content so that you're consistently posting that type of information so that people can come to expect it from you and know where to go to find it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we actually have, we went over a lot of stuff. Today went really fast. It's 1:55 already. Are there any other questions I can help with before the 2 o'clock hour hits here? Nothing yet?
How do you feel, or what is your opinion on having an assistant or a virtual assistant handle the agent's social media versus the agent doing it themselves?
I think that it's going to be a joint effort no matter what, because you really want your personality to come through. Whether that means they're posting all the stuff that is about the industry that they can go do the legwork to look up the stats and, you know, what's going on in the towns and everything, then you would supplement it with your testimonies or interviews with local business owners and your personal experience. And then it would, you'd be hands off with them, and you would just trust them to generate that other type of content. The other thing you can do is actually work with them. Like I have a couple of agents here that have people like that. And when the agents are out and about on their showings or in town with their family and have a real cool picture to share, or there's a local business doing a special or something, they'll take pictures or send the information over to their coordinator, their social media coordinator, and they'll curtail it to make it look and sound like the agent. Make it sound like it's in their voice. So obviously with that type of relationship, it's going to be a lot more hands-on between the two of you. And then they need to get to know you a little bit so that they can sound like you, right? You don't want there to be a clear divide of this was Patty posting and this was somebody we don't know. Like we can tell that this was somebody else. And then going along with that, the social media coordinators are nice to have because they'll help make sure that all of your stuff has a cohesive look and feel. Versus posts that have totally different design elements and just looking like they're coming from all over different places. You want them to tell a story, right, and come off as your brand. Let's see if my page will load before we run out of time here. Let's see. This is our business page that I'm loading for the office. And you'll be able to tell, sorry, my internet's pretty laggy today. Come on. There we go. Oh, I got impatient and clicked refresh too fast. Sorry. Okay, while this is loading, who has ideas for more stuff they want to talk about in the future? All right, so you can say, I'm just going to scroll through this. Shout out your ideas of other topics you want me to run, and I'm happy to take those down. We're building out our August and September calendars now, so I'll take that into consideration. But you can see as I scroll through here, these all have the same feel. They very much look like they're coming from the same designer. I mean, they are, it's me, I'm doing it. but they look like they're telling the same story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like, even this article that I didn't write looks like it's coming from the same place. All of my holiday posts look like this. They have the same little box like that. You can see I have my template for my guests that come in every week.
I wish I would have seen Daldy. I love her.
Oh, I do too. She was awesome. It was so good. We had Brindley on too. So I do agent highlight.
Now, E2P, you don't invite the rest of E2P to those kinds of things, right?
I'm pretty sure the huddle is on the calendar on the E2P.
Okay. But we don't know who your guest is. It would be what time is your huddle?
It's at 9 o'clock. I almost said 8:30 because that's when we have like a pre-huddle. By 9 o'clock, I'm already on 3 Zooms every day.
Me too.
So you guys can see how everything, do you agree that it all looks like it's got the same feel? It's coming from the same background of design, tells a story.
Yeah, it's not haphazard at all.
Right. So having somebody help you with that could be a big burden off of your back. Now, that being said, don't forget how many templates you guys have in Designs. There is so much content in there. This one's from Designs, this video tour picture. All of these started in Designs. I may have, critiqued it a little bit and made it our own. This is from Command, the video. So you don't have to come up with these templates all on your own. This one I did, but it matches the other ones. They all have the same similar design elements. So just remember you have that as a resource right inside Designs. There's tons of templates and they have kind of like their own suites within it. So you can look at a just listed and a just sold and a like a buyer's consultation and a listing presentation, and they'll have pieces that match across all of them. So they make it nice and easy for you. See, there's my profit share from last month. Neighborhood video again. So you can see what's kind of going on out there. Can you tell I'm following a calendar? All right. Well, you guys, we covered a bunch of stuff today. There's always more that we can talk about. So if there's anything that you'd like a more structured class on, or you want a topic to just be brought up in like this Q&A type session, you're welcome to email me. It's amystack@e2psuccess.com anytime you want. And like I said, you can connect with me on all my social stuff. It's the Social Stack. You can find me I'm on Instagram. Here, I'll pull my little page back up. Here's all my places. Right there. You guys can still see that?
I'm going to take another picture, dear.
Go for it. So all my videos always go up onto YouTube on Mondays. And right now I'm running that 66-day challenge on setting up social media. So we're still in the Facebook days. We'll go over Instagram and YouTube as well on how to set those platforms up. So thank you all for coming. I love that I have loyal attendees. And I just started an email newsletter. So if you guys want to get a heads up before classes are happening or receive links afterwards, if you register for the classes here, I'll put you on there. But if anybody, you have any suggestions or friends that want to join in, just send me their email and I'll drop them in on that campaign too.
Okay.
So thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Next week, I'm doing a higher level look at smart plans in Command. So that one will be a KW specific class, but we'll be going over how to duplicate, edit, and create your own smart plans inside Command. So that'll be more of a tutorial instructional class versus a Q&A. But is next week still July? Yes, it will be at 1 o'clock again. Then in August,
Bold, huh?
yeah, Bold starts back up in August, so we'll be back at 10 in the morning during Bold. So it doesn't run into the Bold class. But there you have it.
Thank you so much.
A little bit of a lot of things on how to run your social media today. Thank you guys all for coming. I'm going to go ahead and log off. I'll see you next week.
Bye.